What's going on, everybody? Mike Collier from Midlife Fitness. I am here with one of my athletes, Chris. First of all, thanks, Chris, for jumping on here. I super appreciate it, man.
Of
I
course.
always appreciate when I love my client successes, but even more than that, I love like sharing them with people because I'm first of all, I'm just super proud. I mean, I couldn't be more proud of this guy for the work that he's done. But and again, I really thank him for doing this. And we had this discussion before we got on here, is that the whole intent of this is to be able to motivate, even if we can just motivate one person to do something, to take action, to trying to improve themselves and have a better quality of life. Like, if it's one thing hearing it from me all the time, but when you actually hear from somebody that has, and I struggle with it too, but when you hear it from somebody that has done the program, had, started out one place and is in a totally different place and has improved their quality of life, it's super motivating to hear that, like, right from that person. So I appreciate you doing this for me, Chris. And
Yeah, of course.
yeah, so let's start off at the beginning, man. So, like, why did you hire me? Like, what brought us together?
Well, I seen one of your posts on Facebook,
Yeah.
and I replied to it and said, "Hey, how you doing?" And that's what got us going. But I just had so many health problems, and I wanted to turn my life around,
Yeah.
and I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for the program.
Yeah. So what kind of stuff were you dealing with?
Let's see, enlarged heart due to extreme sleep apnea. I had went in and got checked out. I stayed the night there, and the results were 152 episodes an hour, and my oxygen level was down to 65.
Crazy.
That's what the result of that. That's what enlarged my heart, and so the blood was pooling in my ankles and my feet, causing my feet to almost double in size. So I was full of inflammation, and I have spine problems really bad too. So that didn't help, as far as physical activity and
Right.
work, stuff like that. And yeah, and not to mention all my sugar levels. I was pre-diabetic, and high cholesterol, high triglycerides, you name it. I was honestly like, I felt like I was a heart attack waiting to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and
And
you had all kinds of issues, and I remember, and you know this, and most people that like are familiar with me know that I'm pretty selective about who I work with. I'm pretty picky. And I remember, like, when we were having those first conversations and I'm trying to determine, like, if I can even help you out. Like, I wasn't sure if I could even help you. Just because of all the stuff that you had experienced, like all the physical problems that you've had, like, your back issues. And these are all like, and what, you're 49 years old, right?
yeah,
So these are all things that happen as a result of you, like, building a business and doing literally like backbreaking work to build that business, provide for your family, like build a life for yourself, right? And in the meantime, like, sacrificed your body, which I'm sure
oh
you would do all over again, right?
yeah, of course, yeah, you have to,
Right. But at
had to.
49 years old, you've still got a long life ahead of you, and you don't want to be living in pain for the rest of your life. So you had all that going on. You've also got a history of health issues in your family, right? I know, like, some of your family members have had heart attacks at young age, or had passed away at young ages, right?
Oh yeah, my whole body was inflamed 24/7 before
Yeah.
your pro. So,
Yeah.
and I don't have any inflammation hardly at all, only in
Yeah.
my couple spots that I
Yeah.
deal with.
Yeah, we'll
But
get to all your results because I'm super excited
yeah,
to share your results with everybody. But just in the beginning, like, just talking about it, like I said, I wasn't sure if I could help you, just because you had so much stuff going on. And really, and I don't know if I told you this, if you know this or not, but I decided to do it kind of as a challenge to myself, because I figured, okay, if I can help this guy that's got all these issues, right?
exactly. Yeah,
Then
yeah.
I can help anybody, right? Because you had physical ailments, like, inside and out, like you said, pre-diabetic, you had high cholesterol, all your sleep apnea issues, like all that stuff. right? You know, a lot
I
of stuff going on.
full list all the way down, man.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure if it was if like I said, and not that I didn't want to help, of course I do, but I didn't know if it was going to be out of my scope of practice, you know, if I'd be able to do it or not. So,
That's something was in the back of my mind all the time too. Was if I was too far gone, if it was going to actually hurt me instead of help me.
right. Yeah,
And you built that program around what works best for me
right.
at the time and completely alternate it as I went along, and it's worked out awesome, man.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I'm glad that that we decided to start on this journey together and yeah, for sure. So based on like the program, like what changes have you made in your life since then? And you started in August. It's a 16-week program. So you started in August, you're just starting to get, you know, into the end like last couple of weeks of the program. So like what have you changed?
One of my big ones, I say top five, was the sugar thing.
Yeah. So
You
I'll tell
remember?
a quick story about this. And
Yeah,
I'm
go
sure
ahead.
you you know what I'm going to talk about, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I do, for those of you that don't know, so like when somebody, a new athlete signs up with me, we do an onboarding and it's always a Zoom. So we talk face to face. And during that time, I'm getting all their details from them so I can build out their personal program and all that stuff, their workouts and nutrition. And Chris is outside. We're doing this Zoom, and I'm like, and I look, and he's drinking. I'm like, what are you drinking? He's drinking a Mountain Dew as we're having the onboarding meeting, talking about his health and fitness. He's drinking a Mountain Dew. And what did I tell you to do?
And I defended it. Oh, it
Yeah,
ain't hurt. Nothing wrong with Mountain Dew.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, dump that out right now. Get rid of it. Yeah,
And I did. I listened to you.
you did. You haven't looked back, man. You done awesome. You done awesome.
Yeah. I say a big thing too that I found was monk fruit.
Yeah.
That helps a lot
Oh yeah,
too.
for sure. That's a great artificial sweetener. Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's a natural sweetener. So,
Yeah.
but compared to sugar, straight up sugar, a lot better.
I
Yeah,
mean, if you're addicted to sugar, that's the next best alternative and it's
yeah,
healthy. I
yeah,
would recommend that. That's a helper.
yeah. Absolutely. So what? So you talked about. So as far as like what kind of made the program work for you, what were some of the things that made it successful for you?
You
Okay.
honestly, and I'll explain myself why. When you first put the exercise on me, I couldn't do only but maybe a third of it.
Yeah,
And you alternate, you listened to everything that I had to say, and you altered it to where I was able to complete the exercises and it start small and work up to it.
yep,
And that's that was the key right there. That
yep,
and eliminating the sugar,
yep,
and also knowing in the back of my head that I wasn't going to let you down, or my family or myself.
yeah.
That biggie right there. That was always on my mind.
Yeah. There's a couple of statements that you made early on that have always resonated with me. And one of them was that you felt like if you like you really had no choice. You were either going to do this program, be successful, or you were going to die. And it sounds kind of extreme, but that's what you had said. Like I'm, you know, my only other option is dying, you
It
know.
was true. It's no joke.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's. I was faced with that. My wife would come downstairs, and if she didn't hear me breathing or gasping for air, she held her breath because she thought she'd find me dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm way too young for that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So, okay, so let's talk about your results then. So then you have these, we've talked about all the before stuff. Okay. So now let's talk about the after stuff. Okay. So what has improved? What has happened since you started this thing?
Well, I've toned up. I've lost my stomach. My pants. I've dropped like 4 pant sizes.
Yeah.
I feel so much stronger. I look forward to working out every day. I started riding my fitness bike when you told me you like you asked me and I said, yeah, I got a fitness bike. You're like, well, you got to pull that out and dust that off.
Yep.
I'm like, oh boy. When I started riding, I was on level 2 when I started riding it and got through about 10 minutes. Now I've actually maxed out to level 14
Oh,
and
wow.
14 miles on that at that. So I've made huge improvements.
Yeah.
My, my whole body's you've your program's changed my whole body from the inside out.
Yeah.
No
Yeah. Because you're
joke.
down. What are you down? What did you just tell me? 52 pounds?
I'm down 52 pounds.
Yeah. Down 52 pounds in just like 16 weeks, which is
Yeah,
good. And then tell us about the sleep apnea, the change with the sleep apnea.
I went from being at max pressure of the machine needing to exceed that, and the machine was maxed out. And I was having 152 episodes an hour, and my oxygen level was dropped down to 65. Okay. And I had the hardest time just being able to try to get used to that machine, but I actually finally got used to it. I fought and fought and fought. But now, since then, I mean, like, I'm down to less than 5 episodes an hour. I don't even really need the machine anymore. Um, and my oxygen levels like in the 90s,
Yeah.
no problem. I'm sleeping like a baby. I'm getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep every night. Before that, I was lucky to get a half hour of any kind of sleep. I was so bad I was narcoleptic.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't drive over 10 minutes and I was falling asleep at any time. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
And I don't have that anymore at all. I drove all the way up north on our trip and my wife was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so nice. I don't have to sit here and worry about if you're getting tired and falling asleep and have to get over and start driving." And I drove no problem all the way there and back.
It's awesome,
So
man. That's awesome.
yeah,
So let me see if I can share my screen just to kind of like give everybody a look at these results because they're just amazing. Um, all
you
right.
know another big deal too is I'm able to be here more physically for my grandkids.
Oh, absolutely, man. That's what it's all about. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Can you see my screen right now?
I got to turn it and see. Yeah, I can see it now.
All right, cool. So this is and I think you said you didn't realize I videotaped this, but this was so like when we first started, I did like an assessment just kind of see where you're at and get an idea of like how to program. And that's what the video on the left is, and the right is like 4 months later. And this is a huge difference, like with your squats.
Yeah,
Look at
that first
that, man.
one, a sleeveless T-shirt, right? The second
Yeah.
one, actually wearing two shirts,
Oh yeah, wow.
and I'm still smaller.
Yeah. But look at the range of motion, man.
Yeah, there's
That's amazing.
yeah.
That's huge. That's huge. Here's some of your before and afters. So this is your August 6th side shot, obviously. Look at that. No belly anymore. That's awesome. Your front and back, so they're a little bit harder to see, but look at your back. You got like a V taper now.
Yeah.
Good shape, man. Good shape. And then this one takes a second to play. So this is like a shot of your spine, right? Because we were
Yeah.
talking about all like the literally back-breaking work that you did your whole life, and this was like he shared this with me, and it's just I'd never seen anything like it. I mean, so many spine issues from like herniated discs to what were you saying? Like you had surgery before?
Yeah, I had surgery on my L4, L5, L5S1,
Yeah.
disectomies where they took the chunks out, and then I ended up re-herniating the same discs that I had surgery on little over 6 months after my surgery,
Yeah.
and it worse than what it was before I had surgery.
Crazy. So, because I
Uh,
remember before, like you couldn't stand for very long,
no,
right?
no,
Yeah.
I'm way longer than I was before.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Don't
in this video, you're doing jumping jacks, man. That's one of
Yeah.
my favorite videos. I've watched this so many times. It always makes me smile right there, that part.
What your program, it didn't fix my spine,
Right.
but what it did do is it knocked all the inflammation down in my body and it strengthened up my muscles to where I can deal with my spine a whole lot more.
Yep.
You know, I put my back out during workouts
Yeah.
and gritted my teeth and doing the workouts and the stretches, I put my back right back in again.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you've got the muscles to support your spine, support all
Yeah,
that movement and all that stuff that you're doing. It's awesome.
yeah.
It's awesome.
And boy, and my hips too are a whole lot stronger than what they used to be. My hips were really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can
So
imagine. I can imagine. Yeah. So what if you were to like talk to anybody that's like kind of on the fence or not sure about like, if they should get into like doing something, whether it's with me or with whoever else, whatever, what would you say to them to try to convince them to do something for themselves?
I would tell them if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah,
No, and I thought it was too late for me, and it's not. It ain't. It wasn't too late.
it never
So
is. Never.
no, no,
Yeah.
no. It takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and you're gonna have your mishaps, and that's okay.
Yep.
You get back on that horse, keep riding, you know, and just keep plugging along. And it's a life changing event. It's it's this has completely changed me for the rest of my life.
Yeah. I love it, man. Love it.
Midlife fitness member for life.
I love it. I love it. All right, man. Any last words before we sign off here?
I just want to say I love you, brother, and your fitness program, and I appreciate everything you have done for me.
You've been amazing. And the one of the other things I remember you saying is that when we started, is that you said you were going to be like my protege, like my most successful client. Right? Remember that?
Has that happened yet?
Yeah, you're one of them for sure. For sure. Absolutely. You are definitely up there. You are definitely
That's
up
awesome.
there. Yeah.
So
No, you've done
I
amazing. It's just a testament to the work that you put in. I mean, you were super dedicated the entire time, consistent. You did everything that I asked you to. You always tried stuff. Even if you weren't sure sometimes, you still tried it anyways. And that's all I can ask for. I mean, you were super easy to coach. And as a coach, like that's like I said, that's all I can really ask for, is that you're open, that you try stuff.
I'm just glad that I've made you proud, and I'm going to continue to be proud even
I love it.
years to come.
I
So
love it. I love it, man. All right, man. Well, we're gonna sign off. Thanks again for doing this. Like I said, like hopefully, we can or you can inspire like one person just to do something, just make them realize that it's never too late. You're never past the point of no return. You can always get better, even if it's like, 1% better than you were the day before, the week before. It's totally worth it. It's going to add that quality of life to many of the years that you have to come.
not to mention, man, I look so much better in the mirror now.
Oh, I love it. I love it, man. Perfect ending. Perfect ending. All right, brother.
Thanks
Well,
for
thanks again for doing this.
you. Have a good night.
All right, man. We'll see ya.
Bye bye.